Hey guys, Andrew, aka the Gloctopus here with Gloctopus Reviews, and today we're going to be bringing you a how-to video on how to anodize your titanium Olight flashlights. You can get some really cool colors out of this. If you guys want to see some more videos just like this, go ahead and like and subscribe to our pages here on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Let's get started. Alright guys, we're going to get started with just a few of the things that you're going to need. I'm going to post the links from Amazon and a couple other places where you can get these items to get your anodization done. You're going to need yourself a couple of beakers here, some baking soda, some 99.5% isopropyl alcohol. You're going to need at least 3 9-volt batteries. One kitchen sponge that you're going to take and cut some 1 by 1.5 inch squares out of. Go ahead and try and get the one without the green scouring pad on the top. I just went ahead and removed the green scouring pad from this one. You can just use a regular plain yellow kitchen sponge. You're going to need the pointed Q-tips. One end is a blunt end, the other end is a pointed sharp end. That's going to be for fine detail work. You're going to need some type of titanium wire. Titanium wire is going to be needed to either dip your flashlight in the distilled water or into an acid to clean up your mistakes, which we're not going to get into in this video. That'll be in a later video, but this is good to have on hand. You're also going to need a set of positive and negative alligator clips. These are about 2 foot long. These are also in the description. If you need, go ahead and make a list of everything you see here, and then you're also going to see what you need in the description, and then we'll move on to what's next and get to anodizing. Alright guys, we're going to get started here with showing you how I do some electro-anodizing on the titanium. I've showed you all the things you're going to need to get this accomplished, and I've got this already set up now. I've got a beaker here with some baking soda mixed in as the electrolyte. I've got my tools here. I've got a sponge, a couple of these pointed Q-tips for some fine detail. I've got the battery set up. If you don't have a DC power supply, you can use these 9-volt batteries to give you different colors in different configurations. The more batteries, the faster and less controllable this will be. I found with 3 batteries you can start slow, and the longer you actually touch the tool to the object you're anodizing, you can control the colors. So we're going to get started here with this I5T in titanium. I'm going to try and do some fine detail down the swirl of the flashlight, and we're going to get that accomplished with this pointed Q-tip that I was showing you. So what we do is we dip the Q-tip in this electrolyte here, which I said is the baking soda, in water. Use about 1.5 tablespoons of baking soda to every 100 milliliters of water. You're going to attach your positive to the flashlight body itself, and on the Q-tip that you're using for anodizing, you're going to attach the negative lead. So you got to be really careful with this and watch the colors as they're showing up, and there's a speed that you have to use with this Q-tip to make sure you're not resting it too long in an area, or else the colors will change really quick. So we're gonna try and get this on camera for you guys. This is how it starts. We'll start with the smaller stripe, and the other thing guys is don't forget to glove up. I haven't done that yet. You don't want to get any oils from your hands on the titanium itself. If you get oils on it and you're trying to anodize over those oils, it's going to make it look really funky and really bad. So what I use to clean this titanium off before I get started, just good old 99.5% isopropyl alcohol. Get that on there, let it dry off, get all your oils and greases off of it first, get you a good clean work surface before you get started. Alright, let's get started here. Get a little bit of electrolyte on the tip of this pointed Q-tip, and we're going to try and go down the swirl. As you can see on the swirl right there, the swirl is starting to turn brown. That's the first color you're going to get to, is a brown bronzes color. So what we'll do is we'll just follow this swirl all the way around for the first color, because we want to do this evenly and make it look good. That's my suggestion. Make sure you're not leaving the Q-tip in an area too long, because the next color after this bronze is going to be a purple, and then from purple it quickly changes to the bright blue color that you guys have seen. And there we are at the end of the first stripe. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I'm going to try and get a good shot of that. You can see there, starting to get a little bit of color, a little bit of bronze on the smaller swirl. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over that smaller swirl again and see if we can start getting some of the blues and purples. There we go. A little bit of the purple starting to show up now. Also, you want to be careful with your leads, guys. Make sure your leads are not touching. You don't want to short out this battery. I'll get a little more electrolyte. We're getting a little dry. You don't want it dripping, you just need it wet. We're going to go ahead and rinse this off. Usually what I do to rinse off the work when I'm working on it is just plain old distilled water. You don't want to use anything else. Not the water from the tap, just plain, simple distilled water. So go in here, we'll rinse this off. And what I do is I keep a towel on hand. Just get that dried off. Make sure it's a clean, either microfiber towel or some other towel that dries objects really easily. So you guys can see here, we're starting to get the actual blue and purple colors on the swirl. Super neat looking. So what we'll do to get I guess an opposing colors in the fat stripe, we can either go with a brighter blue or we can go with a bronze. And we will go with a brighter blue. So same thing, we'll get our water out of the way here. Once again, not too much water on the Q-tip here. And with the brighter blues, they're going to take a little bit longer, but we'll come in here, paint brown again. Notice the brown is not going to affect the blue that you've already done, because that's a higher color temperature. I don't know how else to explain it. It's the next color up, so you can't really mess it up. All right, so we've got the first step done. Once again, we go for the brown bronzish color, which is your first one. And we're gonna go back over it, and this time, instead of getting to this purplish blue color, we're gonna let it sit just a tad longer and see if we can get it to go teal on us. We may need to use another battery. Teal requires a little more voltage. Looks like we're just gonna get the nice blue purpley hue out of these 3 batteries. Rinsed off. So right now, right down the center on the stripes, we've got the anodization. You can stop here at this point and leave just the stripes done, or you can keep on going to your fancy. What we're gonna do is do a sponge pattern here down on the head of the light, and then also we're gonna do kind of a gradient feature here on the actual cap of the light. But yeah, that's what this looks like so far, guys. Alright guys, we've gone ahead and removed a battery here from my pack, homemade pack. We're going to go down to 18 volts instead of the 3 batteries at the 27 volts. And what we're going to do now is kind of the sponge pattern that you saw on my first camodized titanium i5T. The process I'm doing that is using a plain kitchen sponge. You're going to cut out about an inch by inch square from the corner of the sponge. Same thing, you're going to go ahead and dip the sponge into an electrolyte solution, baking soda and water. We'll get that nice and wet. We don't want it dripping with water, we just want it wet enough to conduct the electricity. So what we do is, I kind of like the pattern that's on the bottom of the sponge here, just a bunch of random holes. And what you do is you go back, put your positive to the body of the flashlight, negative is going to be pinching the sponge, and lightly we're going to take this, actually I want to wipe this off with a little bit of alcohol first. We have been handling it and dipping it in the water. You always want to make sure that the surface is as clean as possible before anodizing. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off one more time. Alright. We've got all the grease off again, and then we will make sure this is wet, connected, and we'll start right here next to the end of the stripes and see what we can get. As you can see here, just the 2 batteries at 18 volts is getting us a light brown color. And what I do is just a nice roll of the sponge on the surface. Nothing too crazy. So you see here, we're getting a little bit of the gold and bronze in the tip. And we'll keep going from there. The longer you hold it, the cooler the pattern you can get. But light pressure only. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this. Go ahead and get a close-in shot. We've started the camo pattern. And we're going to do the same thing for the end over here where the clip sits. The only thing is you're going to have to kind of move the power lead around. And you want to be careful not to short these out on each other. So we'll start here. Come over on a slow rotate and get that camo pattern. We'll move this to the side that's done already. Again, slow rotation all the way over. And then also, since this is done already, the blues, we can get in here and get these middle of these stripes with just a light roll. All right, we're gonna dip that in some distilled water, get that wiped off, and show you guys the progress so far. This is where we're at so far. See, we're starting to get a nice gold bronze here on the tops and bottoms, almost like a battle-worn finish. What we're going to do now is we're going to try and get into some of the purples and blues without losing the golds on the body and the top. So that's going to require the 27 volts instead of the 18. So all we do is connect the third battery here. It's going to be positive to negative, negative to positive, complete a full circuit, and that's how we add more volts. We're going to go ahead and get this positive back on the flashlight, get us a little more electrolyte in the sponge. Remember, not too much. We want it wet, damp, but not dry. So we're going to start here, and at the end of the stripe, see if we can get a fade into some of the blues and purples with the sponge. And the purples happen pretty quick, so you don't want to linger on the substrate very long. Just quick rolls with the sponge. And if you start seeing a little too much water on the product, go ahead and dab your sponge on something dry. We don't want a lot of water beating on the surface. Water is what is conducting the electricity, and you can get it in spots you don't want it in. So we're going to go back over the golds in the middle. Just a little roll on those. Right here at the top. Right under the clip. We want an even look. And then one more time between the actual swirls, and this thing is starting to turn out really nice, guys. You can probably see that here. We'll move that around and get that piece that was under the alligator clip. Alright, so now what we've got is our second color on the body. We've got our defined swirls here. starting to turn out really nice looking. And we'll see if we can get a couple spots here on the head and the body. See if we can get some of the darker blues. The darker blues is the next color that you're going to get to after the purple. We don't want too many. Kind of want like an oil slick color to this. The only things I wanted super defined, like I said, is going to be the swirls here. So we've already got electrolyte here. What you want to do is another quick touch right on top with some pressure in random spots, just a little longer. And there we're starting to get the bright blues. And we'll come one more time here, right over the Olight. And I think we're done here, guys. This is a quick video showing you how you can anodize your titanium. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and get with me, PM me. It's a fairly simple process if you know what you're doing and have steady hands. If you're a beginner, you can keep on trying this. I'm going to post another video that shows you how to fix your mistakes if you mess these up. It's a really easy process to fix them. We're not going to get into that today, but yeah, this wraps up the video. Wanted to show you guys what it takes to anodize your TI. It's not too hard. It just takes a little bit of time and patience, and you can get a really awesome looking product right here in your home with spending about, I don't know, 10-20 minutes with your flashlight and some electricity. Awesome, guys. Hope you guys have a good evening and have a good start to your week.